Like anyone who dares to run against him is going to be annihilated, even in ways you cannot even imagine. This next election is going to be a big one. It's going to be a really big one because it determines where they decide to go in terms of the face of the party. And I mean, we talked last week about this with David Dole, but like I don't see. I mean, honestly, best case scenario for us is that Trump wins the primary.
Thank you. You agree with me. Let's roll the dice, baby. Woo! I'm ready to roll the dice. I'm ready for it.
Honestly, I actually like. This is how crazy the Republican Party has gotten. I actually really do think Donald Trump is the least dangerous of all of the people who want to run, like Ron DeSantis. Look, I still estimate that if it was, if it wasn't for, what
about Mike Pence?
Oh, he would be horrible. All these guys are talented at giving off the aura that they are very serious people. I mean, and that's the thing that made most people not like Trump. Like, unfortunately, I wish everybody, and I should say there's a lot of people, maybe even a majority, who didn't like him for who he is and what he wanted to do. But there was also a good percentage of people who Trump lost them because they simply were like, I don't like that he uses potty mouth language, or he's filthy mouth, or I don't like that
it's the Twitter. They always say Twitter.
He's wasting his time on Twitter. No, I'm happy he wasted his time on Twitter. That was great, but that's the best. He should waste more time on social media if he ever got elected to office again. For me, I mean, if it wasn't for that pandemic and I held on to the pandemic, even when people were saying Trump was the worst, no, the Bush administration was far more destructive than the Trump administration sans the pandemic. I mean, because what you had was Bush and Cheney, the smooth operators. Like, you could say what you want to say about Bush, about how he was like a funny guy or whatever.
Cheney was a killer, though, man. Cheney was a killer.
Yeah, Cheney was the operator. And, Bush wasn't dumb in that sense. Like, he played his part. He played his role.
You know what scares me most of... There's a lot of things that scares me about Dick Cheney. I'm very interested in the man because he's politically brilliant, but he's also politically brilliant for the worst ideas possible.
He's a psychopath.
The thing that really gets me is he always knew his place. Like, he was he knew, what I mean, is, he's not an extremely fun guy. He's not a likable guy. He just looks like the type of guy that'd be willing to, throw your baby into a wood chipper in order to, get $1, right? He just doesn't look that happy. I think he always understood that his role was never to be the face of the party, but to always be a backroom operator. And that's the thing that scared me, is people terrify me the most when they know what they're the best at, because that's where they're going to be the most effective at getting their agenda done. And he was very good at that. Where Trump has no clue what he's good at. He has no clue what he's doing. And I think that's an advantage that you have with Donald Trump, is he's constantly making mistakes and fucking himself over. But I disagree, though, that Trump would be less harmful than Ron DeSantis or Mike Pence. And the reason why, okay, now you're about to enter the free marketplace of ideas, bucko. The reason why is Trump is more gutsy. He's a lot more gutsy. Trump is the type of person who's willing to just flip a coin on legitimately trying to steal the election. What he did when he called the Secretary of State of Georgia is not something Mike Pence would do. That's not something Ron DeSantis would do. He's willing to break lines that other politicians wouldn't be, because they understand it's too risky, even on just a legal precedent. There's a reason why Donald Trump's home got raided, is because he's willing to do stuff in order to get his home raided. And so if he ever got the reins of power again, I have no reason to believe that he wouldn't take another risk on something like a Secretary of State phone call, and maybe next time he'd be more successful. Where we've seen Mike Pence put in a similar situation before, and he's despicable, but he's not as gutsy. Mike Pence is many things, but nervous is probably up near the top of the list. He's very calculated in everything he does. He's not going to take gigantic risks. And so I do think that Donald Trump has the potential to be more of a destructive force for our democracy and a destructive force for our country and around the globe. A great example would be his flip-flopping on northeastern Syria, which got a lot of people killed and started a Turkish invasion.
Yeah. No, yeah. Yeah.
But I still hope he's the nominee.
Yeah.
Because I think he'll lose. Because the Democrats did the whole flip the coin thing this election on a lot of candidates, and a lot of people were really scared about Democrats funding far right candidates or wanting the far right candidates to win by like running ads to basically like have them be the winner. And a lot of people were scared because like, isn't that the 2016 strategy? But every place Democrats did that this election, it ended up working actually. It's a high risk, high reward is the game, and I'm just saying, let's spin the roulette wheel one more time. Come on, let's do it, baby.
No, absolutely. But there's a difference between playing that dangerous game with people who you don't know how they're going to perform, and then the situation where we know Joe Biden can beat Trump, and he's done it before.
My goodness, I do. Yeah, that is true. Joe Biden is the one person who has shown he's able to beat Trump in the general election. And the thing is with Trump is when presidents leave office, you kind of see their approval rating start to go up again. You know, what is the idea? Absence sees the heart grow fonder is the idea. That just didn't happen for Donald Trump. Like his polling hasn't gone up that much. It's gone up like a few points from the low of January 6th, and then it's been stagnant ever since. And he just announced he's running for president again, and it hasn't skyrocketed. It hasn't gone up. So I don't see any fondness from the American people, right? I don't see any them wanting him back. And I do think he's most likely to be the candidate. I just don't think there's going to be any desire from people to return to the chaos of the Trump era. Because it feels like if there's anything that Trump is, like people call him like a Molotov to the establishment. I think people are sick of the house burning.
Right. No, absolutely. Yeah. I think you're spot on there, honestly. In terms of why first of all, the idea that anyone would think that someone would be better to put forward than Trump. Like, I also think it's great that Trump is going to straight up destroy future Republican presidential candidates. Like anyone who dares to run against him is going to be annihilated, even in ways you cannot even imagine.
Did you hear the Ron DeSantis rumors about Donald Trump in the story with the magazine and the stripper?
No.
So there's a rumor. Now this is all rumor. There hasn't, but it has been reported on, and I believe a few accredited news outlets, like credible news outlets, that and Donald Trump's kind of hinted at it in public, like, hey, I got stuff. I always got stuff in my back pocket. But the idea is, this is the rumor, that he has a story about Ron DeSantis going to hotels and getting spanked by strippers with magazines with his own face on it. And Donald Trump might have that story on lock in case Ron DeSantis runs against him. That would be fantastic. I would be very excited about that drama.
Yeah, I would very much look forward to. I mean, I want them really badly to focus on this stuff because it's so funny that they really think this is going to help them win.
Okay, now my chat's angry at me kink shaming. I'm not kink shaming. If he wants to be spanked with his own face, that's his own business, okay? He's a free American. That's he can do it. It's fine.
Yeah.